Welcome to Get Over It, the consciousness transforming podcast for exceptional 21st century living. Hey guys, today you have me, and I'm going to be talking about cleaning your home energetically, how to get rid of unwanted spirits, ghosts, and all types of negative energy. So I'm really glad that you're with me today because, with COVID coming up and all of this energy that's just been so stagnant because we've been in the house for so long. We've created what I'm going to call, energetic dust bunnies. And it's good to get rid of them. And now is the perfect time to let them go. So, we're going to talk about removing stagnant energy, how to improve your health, how to freshen your home on an invisible level, how to raise that low vibration that's accumulated, especially in the corners and possibly your backyard or even your front stoop, and how to remove harmful spirits, and most importantly, how to get rid of those ghosts that are hanging out, okay? Because, we don't want them. It's time to just let them go. As I said, we've been shut in so much because of COVID the last 15 months, and now we're starting to emerge. And with us emerging back out into the world, also those negative energies are just raising up and saying, hey, we're free. And they're floating around, and it's time to put them back in their place. And that's like to have them leave Earth and go someplace where they can't bother anybody else. So, I'm going to tell you how to energetically cleanse your physical space and some tips on how to even cleanse you. We're going to be talking about smudging, salts, herbs, vinegar, and noise. Now, in a subsequent podcast, I will be talking about more tools like how to use essential oils and some other deeper subjects so that we can really get rid of this vibration, this low vibration that is not helping us at all. So let's jump right on in. Excuse me. Now, almost everybody has heard of smudging, and usually what comes to mind when someone mentions the word smudging is white sage because that's the main thing. It's even on TV these days. Popular TV shows are showing people smudging themselves or guests as soon as they come to the home. Now, a lot of times they're doing it incorrectly, but the idea is to get the information out there. So, I'm going to cover 9 different types of smudging methods. And with that, I'm going to tell you how you can correctly utilize it to get the doors open. But before we do any smudging or anything else, though, it's really important that we honor the spirit of the house. Yes, every spirit, every building, I should say, has a spirit. And the spirit is not necessarily a negative one. It's one that keeps watch over the property or over the area, similar to our spirit guides, okay? And the first thing to do to honor that spirit is to light a white candle and place it in the room that is in the middle of your home. Okay, that's the very first step. It doesn't have to be a large candle. It could be like one of those little 3-inch candles. The intent is important. And with that intent, you light the candle and you give honor and thanks to the spirit of the house for the work that it has done. And if you're experiencing some negative energy or seeing ghosts, you ask for that house spirit to help cleanse that energy. And as you are saying that, that intent is also imbued into the candle. So it's like a 2-for-1 type of thing. Okay. Um, let the spirit of the house know that you really appreciate the work that it has done for holding a positive space for you and your family. And thank it in advance for any and all of the blessings that it will bestow upon the occupants of your home in the future. Okay. Now, when you smudge, start at one point in your home and you cover the entire house. Now, you can either go clockwise or counterclockwise. There are different schools of thought on this. I tend to go counterclockwise because I feel that going backwards helps to release, but a lot of people feel that you should go clockwise. So that choice is yours. However, first things first, open the windows. Because if you don't open the windows, you got all these spirits running around in your house and they have no way to escape. So you want to let them go. And as you open the window and the smell is released, the spirits are released, and they naturally will go to where they're supposed to go. Because by saging, you are giving them a healing. Okay. So open those windows. The next thing you're going to need are some tools. You're going to need matches. I prefer matches because when you strike it, it has that sulfur smell, and sulfur helps remove negative energy. You're going to need a fireproof container because you want to catch all those embers and not burn down your house. You're going to need a feather or a fan to help move that smoke around in the room. Okay. Now, sometimes you might need a charcoal burner for some of the substances I'm going to talk about, but I will let you know when that's time. But it's really important to cover the door sills, to cover the windows, to cover each corner, to spend a little bit of time in the middle of each room. You really want to saturate it. It's like, putting the sage in the house, and if you were to look back, you're like, oh, everything is real smoky. Let me get out of here for a couple of minutes. And that's a good idea. Leave the home for at least a half hour and take your fur babies with you. Okay? Because by doing that, you're letting the substance of the smudging work and it doesn't have you to kind of interfere with it. Okay. You can smudge yourself, but that's like a different topic, different day. Right now, we're talking about the home. Okay, so there are 9 different types of smudges that I'm going to talk about today. And the first one is white sage. Now, when anybody thinks about smudging, the first thing that comes to mind is white sage. I mean, it's kind of universal, just about everybody's heard of it. Now, white sage will remove spiritual impurities. That's a given. But did you know that white sage also has antimicrobial properties? It helps keep infectious bacteria and viruses and fungi at bay. Did you know that? I didn't until I actually got COVID and I was using it in a home. And my husband was saying, like, what are you crazy? You can barely breathe and you're bringing this stuff into the house. But it actually helped clear up some of what I was going through. White sage is very helpful with asthma and allergies and bronchitis, any of those respiratory conditions. Okay. Now, you don't sit there and just inhale the smoke of white sage. You're going to, uh, put it in a room and just stay in a room and breathe normally and allow it to permeate the walls, the sofa, the couch, whatever is in your room. As it cleanses that, it's going to raise the vibration and automatically help you. Okay. Now, when you're using white sage, again, you want to make sure that you're covering the doors, the doorways, the windows, the windowsills, each corner. It's really important, especially for the corners, because that's a mostly overlooked area in our homes. Get up and look right now at the corner in the room that you're sitting in. What do you see? You might see some accumulated dirt. You might see a little dust, I'm going to say bubble, or you might see a great big old dust bunny sitting there looking at you. And you want those to go away because they collect negative energy, because that's their job. And we just want to keep them away. So you smudge the whole home, and remember to be outside the home for at least 30 minutes, if not longer. Okay. Now, some people think that smudge smells like pot and they're very uncomfortable with that. So, if you don't want to use the smudge stick per se, the white sage, you can buy liquid white sage. And again, the same premise, each corner, the room of the house, across the windowsills, across the uh, doorway, all of that is going to help cleanse the room and bring up the vibration. Now, the second smudge method that I want to talk about is using Palo Santo. And this is also known as holy wood. You get the purest Palo Santo from Peru. Okay. And it's from a tree called Berseria gravanolis, and I probably like really screwed up the name, but if you look it up, you can see it. It comes from many other countries in South America too, but Peru seems to have the purest. Now, when you burn the wood, you're going to have to use the match and really let that wood get ignited, just as if you're lighting a fire in the fireplace, okay? And once that blaze is going good, what I do is I shake the flame out, and the same process as with the white sage, I'm covering everything. Now, the Palo Santo leaves a very pleasing odor in the house, and you can feel, excuse me, you can feel it uplifting. You can feel the energy coming through. Now, there's a great run on Palo Santo right now, and unfortunately, the forest of South America are basically being raided, and they're taking the new saplings even and trying to turn that into Palo Santo. No, the best Palo Santo is going to come from a tree that has lived its lifespan, if you will, and is now offering its services, its bark, its wood to humankind to be used. That's the ethical way to capture it. Do buy it from a reputable country. Just don't go on Amazon and buy the first thing you see. Do a little bit of research, okay? The Palo Santo should not be from a healthy tree. Now, Palo Santo is great for cleansing the air, and it's going to bring positivity into your space. Again, you as a human, it's important that you set your intention. What do you want it to do for you? When I'm using Palo Santo, I wanted to get rid of negative energy, and then I wanted to bring in positive energy. But I'm very clear about that positive energy that I want to bring in. Now, you can smudge on a daily basis. It's really not necessary, but you could smudge on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, or even once a year. Since I do this type of work that I'm doing, and I have all kinds of energies floating in my out of my house, I use Palo Santo on a weekly basis. Okay, just clears everything out and nothing to worry about. Now, the third type of smudging that I'm going to talk about is using white copal. Now, white copal is a resin and it's often used to create a sacred space within your environment. It's going to clear the stagnant energy in the room, and it's going to create a warm and flowy feeling to the room, if you will. It brings the loving energy into your space. It's also going to help you with your creativity and increase your flow of abundance. So if you are struggling right now with some uh, lack of abundance, let's say, to keep it nicely, or you've lost your job, or because of COVID, you got laid off, whatever the case may be, burning white copal will help. Now, white copal can be found in a stick, an incense stick, or you can get the resin and burn it on a charcoal burner. Both are available from Amazon, and I have no connection or I get nothing from Amazon for this. I'm just trying to give you easy ways to obtain it. But if you have a great metaphysical store in your area, I would go there first, because buying online is always iffy, tricky. Whereas if you go into the metaphysical store, there's someone that's right there that can help you. White copal can also help you get grounded. It uh, helps you with your stronger connection to the earth. It helps with emotional healing and physical manifestations. It provides blessings, protection, healing. The best time to do this, to use white copal, if you're truly serious about this, the best time to use it is on a Sunday at sunrise. Now, if there's other people in your house, I can understand that, that might be a bit of an issue for you. Okay. So, you do the best you can with what you got. Okay. So if you have to do it, Monday at noon, because that's when you have space to clear your home, that's when you do it. Now, the next substance I'm going to talk about is sweetgrass. And sweetgrass brings positive energy in, especially after saging. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Sweetgrass is wonderful. I have never been successful with getting sweetgrass to burn. I am told you're supposed to light the end and it'll set ablaze, and then you blow it out just like sage and it will, burn for you. You blow on it and it'll burn. Well, I haven't gotten it to work, but I've seen others do it. Okay. So you what light the sweetgrass, and then you state what you want. Again, intention is always key. Okay. Now, sweetgrass can also be burned to clean the negative energy out of your space. The next substance is juniper. Yep, that's juniper, you know, the bush, the tree. And juniper can also create a safe space within your environment. It's protective, it's positive, and it creates a wonderful healing space. I have juniper in my backyard because we have a lot of ghost activity back there. Okay, you can just sit and just watch them go by. And I put the juniper back there, and the juniper has dissipated that negative energy of the ghosts. I'm going to say 95%. You know, energy flows, so yeah, you're still going to have some coming back and forth. You could put a juniper plant in your home if you can keep it growing, or you can cut pieces of juniper and just lay it around your home as a decorative piece in your home. It's all going to do the same purpose of lifting, removing that negative energy. Now, juniper berries are very energetic and they can actually help with physically detoxifying as well as keeping you centered. Now, I'm not saying eat the berries, I'm saying put some in a bowl or a plate or whatever in a room that you spend a lot of time in and let them sit for a week. They'll just magically do their thing. Okay, there's nothing wrong with, them magically doing their thing. The next substance I'm going to talk about is rosemary. Oh, before I go to rosemary, juniper can also be burned. You need it a little dry. Again, you need to light it. Have your protective fireproof container with you and your fan. Once the smoke starts blowing, just like with sage, you're going to do it the whole room, the corners, center of the room, windows, doorway, anything where negative energy can come through. Now, rosemary. Rosemary is very calming. Rosemary offers protection and it restores mental clarity and it just lets those negative thoughts fall away. So, if you are having trouble with keeping your thoughts positive, you keep going back to things that worry you, burning rosemary in your home will help you with that. Rosemary is kind of like a remembrance herb where it can be used for cleansing rituals, even beauty rituals, healing rites. It brings in the peace and it imbues the home with feminine empowerment. Okay. And it also brings in the energy of the divine light. So, say you're like me and you're a lady and you've got four guys living in your home. So, you're the only chick running around and your guys aren't really showing, their feminine energy side. By utilizing rosemary, it softens them to open them up to their feminine energy. Every female has male energy, every male has feminine energy. It doesn't mean anything that, you are homosexual or anything else. It's just we have two sides to us. So it's important to embrace the whole. And rosemary can help with that energy. And by doing that, you have balance in your home. You're keeping the negative energies at bay. Now, the next one that I'm going to talk about is star anise, and you need a charcoal disc for this. So it looks like little stars, and they're quite perky actually. And you put one or two on a charcoal disc. The charcoal disc should be uh, lit and burning before you place the star anise on, and then just place it in your home, whatever room that you want to place it in, or you can move it from room to room and just let it burn. Star anise will help with creating a sacred space and it's going to remove negative and dark energy. I love to use star anise when I'm experiencing alien energy in my home because it's, star from the heavens and it has a certain energy to resonate with the aliens and just clean them right on out. The next I'm going to talk about is cinnamon, and cinnamon also needs to be used on a charcoal disc, and it's going to create this wonderful cloud of protection. I mean, it's going to light so quick and it's going to build the cloud so quickly, you're almost going to think like, oh my God, did I set my house on fire? No, you haven't. It's just going to give you a lot of potent energy to use. Now, cinnamon will get rid of negative energy, and cinnamon is also used to create. So if you're suffering from money issues or needing a job or whatever, cinnamon can help you achieve that. Now, the Wiccan community uses cinnamon around moon festivals and spells, but that's a whole nother different show. And the last substance I'm going to talk about today, as far as saging, is bay leaves. Okay. Um, Bay leaves, the dried ones, are used as a smoke cleanse. Now, what I've done in the past, I will go to the store and buy some organic bay leaves and dry them, and those are the leaves I use. You know, why spend a ton of money if you don't have to? I do use them in a fireproof ball, and I light them and I let the smoke just go all over the place. Now, bay leaves will get rid of negative energy. It's very, very good at getting rid of lower level vibrations. It's very good at getting rid of evil spirits. Okay, not just spirits, but the really nasty, dirty ones. And on the positive side of that, bay leaves can help you create psychic visions. So if that's something that you're interested in, it will do that. You know, with COVID and being shut in for so long, so many people have developed, excuse me, anxiety. They're having panic attacks. Burning bay leaves will instantly bring your energy down. So those are a few of the um, nine actually of the white sage of the smudging that I was talking about. Um, Next, I am going to talk about salt. Okay, now I'm going to talk about seven different types of salts. Salt overall is very cleansing. You know, when you're in doubt, use salt. Okay, just keep that in mind. Doesn't matter what type of salt, when you're in doubt, use salt. The first salt I'm going to talk about is table salt. And that's the stuff, you know, the white salt that a lot of people, unfortunately, are still using on their food because the sea salt and the Himalayan sea salt is much better for you. But you know, you use what you got to use. So, table salt is all purpose. It can act as a barrier to keep negative energy away, and it acts like a magnet to attract negative energy. Now, you should release this negative energy from salt weekly. What I do, and I was going to talk about it a little bit better, so I think I'll combine them together, is I'm using a salt ball at each door in my home. I place out of the normal person's view a small bowl of salt. And what that does, anyone going in or out of that door, that salt is going to collect their negativity. So they're not spreading it all throughout my home. Now, I have other people that live in the house with me. I have a fur baby. We all collect negative energy. That table salt is just sitting by the door is going to collect that. If you're troubled with nightmares, have a little bowl, and again, it doesn't have to be a lot, like a quarter of a cup of table salt on your nightstand. It will help attract those lower vibrational negative energies into that salt, keeping them away from you. Now, salt I get rid of on minimum once a week. Okay. I flush it down the toilet because when you flush it down the toilet, I don't know about you, but anything I put down the toilet, I don't want no more. So that energy doesn't come back. I don't want to spray it outside the front of my house or the back of my house because that's just putting that energy right into the earth and it may not have cleansed itself. Okay. Now, the next salt I'm going to talk about is Himalayan sea salt. And Himalayan sea salt, first of all, is very good for you if you decide to cook with it because it has many minerals that we don't normally glean from food that will help improve our health. It also acts like a triple threat because it will filter out the bad vibes, it cleans up the electromagnetic radiation in our homes, and it gets rid of air contaminants. I believe it's Ashland, North Carolina, South Carolina, one of those. You can look it up, where they have a salt room. And I've actually had a client go to this room, and it's completely nothing but Himalayan pink salt. And she said when she went there, she went in with troubles. She came out, she felt free, and she felt good for a good 10 months afterwards. So the Himalayan sea salt does have a positive effect. You can also buy Himalayan sea salt lamps. My sister actually gifted me for one, and at first I wasn't, I'm like, I didn't know if I was going to use it, but once I used it, I keep it in my office, and it just takes all negativity out. So that would be a good way to utilize salt, the Himalayan sea salt, with nobody really knowing what you're doing. It's just pretty, it's decorative. You can put it in a bowl if you want, but I tend to just use it as needed. I don't keep it just sitting around on a daily or a weekly basis. Now, the third salt that I'm going to talk about is what is called black salt. Black salt is also known as witch's salt. Um, it's a combination of sea salt and activated charcoal, and it will protect your boundaries. It smells a bit like sulfur, and sulfur is very good at getting rid of negative energy. It protects your space, and again, you would sprinkle just a little bit, like a pinch, across the doorway, across the windowsills, in each corner, in the center of the room. And again, you're using a pinch. If you're just going to throw the salts, any of them, in the room, it's a pinch. So one pinch, yeah, you're going to make it stretch all the way across your windowsill, no matter how large your windowsill is. It's not about somebody coming into your home and looking and saying, oh, what's that? It's about you secretly placing substances where they will keep you protected, and nobody's none the wiser. Okay. The next salt I'm going to talk about, and it's a salt combo, if you will, and that's the Himalayan sea salt and camphor, Camphor. Now, camphor, think Vicks, that little tubes of Vicks. That's what camphor is. That's what camphor smells like. And it's very healing. It releases the healing energy. It raises the vibration. It releases blocks, which in turn gets rid of negative energy. So if you had, say, a quarter cup of Himalayan sea salt, and you put 5 drops of camphor oil in it, and then you kind of smushed it together so it's lightly damp. And again, you can throw it in each corner of your room, in your house or wherever you want, across the windowsill, across the doorstep. It will have a slight smell of camphor, which to most people is very pleasing. And again, fixed camphorated oil, so you probably have a sense of what it already smells like, and it'll just do its magic. And most people enjoy the smell, so when they come in, they're thinking nothing about it. They're just like, oh, it smells really good in here. And if you come to my place for a reading or a healing, you will smell some camphor. Okay. Now, the next is salt. And this time I'm just talking about sea salt and eucalyptus oil. Eucalyptus oil releases energy. It's very calming and it purifies. So, the same process as a Himalayan salt and the camphor, quarter cup, 5 drops of the oil, smush them together, sprinkle them wherever you want in your room. Okay. Don't use them all together. Choose one, and stick with it for a bit, and then choose another. And again, follow your intuition. Follow what you feel is important, so that you can make your own choice. And if one doesn't work, you don't achieve the result you're looking for, of course you can switch up and have another. Okay, so you're not locked into anything. It's a process, I guess, of experimentation, and also of, finding out what pleases you, what really resonates with your energy. The next salt we've all heard of is sea salt. If you're fortunate enough to live by the ocean, go at least get your feet in, stay there for 2 or 3 minutes, and let that salt cleanse your body, cleanse your soul. You can take sea salt, and the way I use sea salt, I'll just either cook with it, or I'll just put a dot in the middle of each room once a day. Now, as I'm cleaning up my house, I clean up the salt, and then I have to do that again. Okay. And then the last one I kind of covered earlier, and that's salt bowls. Salt bowls are very Very important, just to have around. You'd be amazed. I have one person in my neighborhood who loves to come to my house. I don't necessarily, stress about them coming over because they're not, because the salt just tends to stop them. Okay. So, keep that in mind if you have somebody that you really don't want around. Okay. Now, on the other hand, the one thing I should mention about the black salt, say someone is in your house and you've had an argument with them or you don't want them back into the house, before they leave, sprinkle just a little bit, again, not enough for them to see, sprinkle a little bit on the pathway out the door. As they step on the black salt, they won't be back. Okay. The black salt will keep them away. Now, the next step, I'm going to talk about 7 different herbs that can help us. Okay. The first one I covered lightly before, and that is cinnamon. Cinnamon protects, it brings comfort. I use cinnamon a lot for manifesting. I will put a small pot of water on the burner. I will put 2 sticks of cinnamon, some nutmeg, and a little bit of ginger in that pot, and some cloves. And I will just bring it to a boil and let it simmer. First of all, it makes your house smell so good. It's like Thanksgiving 24/7. Okay, it smells really good. And second of all, as that energy permeates your house, it's removing all the negativity. So there's really nothing that you have to worry about, except don't leave the pot burning on the stove. Now, I'll do this for an hour or so, and then when I am done, I will take the residue and just, put it down the sink, just let it go, wash out the pot. And I have one pot that I use for this. I don't cook in the same pot. If you're going to use spiritual tools, they should be different from what you're using to cook with. Just kind of like a separation thing. Okay. The next one I've kind of already talked about, and that's star anise. It's good for protection, luck, psychic awareness, and it will raise your vibration. The third I kind of covered, and that's bay leaves. It removes the negativity when dried and burned, and it can increase your psychic powers. So if you're looking to increase, your psychic ability, bay leaves will do it. Rosemary is very good for cleansing. The next one is cedar. Cedar removes, it's great for pets because it removes any fleas. Sometimes fleas can get into your home, not even on your pet, but just in your home and, take up residence, and you really don't want that. So by squirting a small squirt or drop of cedar in each corner of your room, and make it small because it has a strong smell. It will remove you if you're not too careful. But the cedar removes all negative low level vibrations. Cedar is actually very, very, very good in your closet. A lot of closets. Floors are made of cedar, and that keeps the moths and other little animals that will eat your clothes away. Now, the next 3 that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to lump them together, is orange, grapefruit, and lemon, the citrus family. Citrus energy is very good at removing negative energy. It will raise your vibration. It will attract negative energy to it and help you dispel it. If you take a lemon and you cut it into quarters and you leave it on a bowl, in a bowl on your wherever you want to leave it, after 2 days, it's going to start to turn brown. By day 4, it should be black because it's collecting that negative energy. And then what I do with that, I put the lemon in a paper bag and I throw the paper bag off property. And what I mean by off property, not to a neighbor that I don't care for, but I take it to a commercial building where, like the grocery store, where there's a commercial dumpster, and I dump it in there because that's not going to come back and harm anybody. Orange and grapefruit, they're very uplifting. Think about when you go to the store, a lot of stores will pipe in the scent of orange to keep you there longer and for you to spend more money. Isn't that interesting about them? But it's also clearing out negativity. And actually, the scent of orange will help keep the rodents and those little bugs called roaches away. Okay. So if you happen to unfortunately suffer with that, that is one method to let it go. And then grapefruit. Grapefruit is just great to have around. I just let a whole grapefruit sit wherever. I just buy like one every 2 or 3 months and just let it sit in my house. And once it gets really good and moldy, that's when I know it's time to let that grapefruit go. And the way that I let it go is just throwing it out and recycle. Okay. I feel that that is okay. Now, herbs have been around since the beginning of time. The ancients have always used them. So let's take a lesson from, them. We don't have to recreate the wheel. We just need to learn to work with the wheel. Now, the I'm going to talk about vinegars next. And vinegar has become very popular lately, especially white vinegar. People are using it to kill weeds, to let go of anything that's negative. My favorite, and I use this all the time to clean on any reflective surface, and that's the computer screen, windows, TVs, um, clear lights, whatever it is a combination of Windex and white vinegar. So I'll buy a bottle of Windex. I will pour out a cup of the Windex into a different container and save it. I will pour in a cup of white vinegar, shake it very well, and cleanse those surfaces. That stops the energy of spirits, ghosts, poltergeist, whatever, coming into your space. Remember that movie Poltergeist way back when? Well, if they had used some white vinegar and Windex, that would have cured that problem. Okay, so any reflective surface, the white vinegar and Windex will stop that energy from occurring. Use it as often as you clean those surfaces. If you are experiencing a high volume of ghost activity, I would use it daily until it calms down. And if you have a daily thing going on, it can calm down as quickly as 3 days. And again, setting your intent. Okay, you don't have to pray over it like you're washing your excuse me, TV screen and praying over it. You just set your intent by cleaning my TV screen with the white vinegar and Windex. I am stopping all negative energy from pouring forth. Easy, said, done. As we're opening to traveling now, I do carry a small container of white vinegar and Windex with me when I go to a hotel. And I wash the windows and the mirrors, the inside of the windows, the mirrors, and especially the TV screen with it because you don't know who's been in that room before you, okay? And you don't even know the energy of the person that has serviced the room. So, as you protect yourself, you can bring in your own energy with this white vinegar and Windex. Um, Red wine vinegar, red rice vinegar. Extremely, extremely effective with getting rid of ghosts. Okay. Um, my house was built in, well, this house was built in the 60s, I think 62 or 63. And one night, we're just like all sitting around, and all of a sudden the pipes are clanging, and we're like, WTF? And my husband's looking at me like, get rid of it. So I took some red rice vinegar, a cup full, and I poured it down 1 cup per each drain in my home, and 1 cup down each toilet and flushed. Uh, the energy went away. It hasn't been back. Okay. If you are feeling, your whole house just has an off feeling and you don't know exactly what's wrong, a quarter of a cup of red wine vinegar or red rice vinegar in each room will get rid of anything. It might even, send you out of it. The spirit world doesn't like the smell of the red wine vinegar or the red rice vinegar, just like we don't like the smell of skunk. Okay. So it will go away and it doesn't tend to come back because it doesn't want to keep experiencing that smell. So that's an easy breezy tip for you to do. Now, be aware your house will smell like vinegar and you have to let it sit a full 24 hours. Have to. Okay. So if you feel you can't stand the smell, but it's more important for you to get that energy out of there, go someplace for 24 hours and come back. When you're done, you take the vinegars and you flush them down the toilet. Again, whatever you put down there, you generally don't want back again. So, the last way that I'm going to talk about negative energy today and how to get rid of it is good old fashioned noise. Anybody who has a toddler knows that noise can be enjoyable. Noise can also like irk you to the nth degree. And that's what we're trying to do with the spirits that we don't want is to make them go away. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, which is easy peasy, and that's wind chimes. You can hang a wind chime inside. You can hang a wind chime outside. Now, I'm not talking about the drugstore variety wind chime that tinkles, okay, when it shakes. I'm talking about getting a good quality Corinthian wind chime. When it chimes, it booms, okay? And it's a pleasant boom to most people, but it's going to vibrate throughout your house and help you get rid of the energy that is not wanted. It will just send all negative energy away. The second way that I'm going to share with you about noise is a table fountain. Okay, you listen to the babbling brook. What does it do? It soothes you. If it's babbling, it's not collecting negative energy because it's moving. So, if you have a table fountain in whatever room you choose or a room that you feel negative energy in, that's going to help you get rid of that negative energy. If you know feng shui and you're again suffering with lack of money right now, put a water fountain in the money corner of your home. It's going to increase the money coming in. I actually did this in a rental that I lived in many, many years ago. The actual house was missing the money corner, and I put an outside fountain there. And within no lie, 3 minutes of completing the fountain and turning it on, my phone started ringing. And I was like, wow, why didn't I just do this earlier? But that fountain will help release the negative energy and it will also help bring in negative energy. Um, Another way to have noise eradicate negative energy from your home is stomping, literally stomping around your house, not walking gingerly, but stomping. That sound of your foot or whatever you use to stomp with on the ground will dispel the negative energy. It shifts the vibration. Same thing with banging pots and pans. Some people feel that they hear banging pots and pans in the kitchen at night and they think it's ghostly activity. And it could very well be. But if you want to get rid of it, you just go in there and bang those pots and pans and it's going to make them go away. But in addition to doing that, what I would also do is put a quarter cup of red wine or red rice vinegar in that cabinet and just make it go away. Music is very soothing. Music can be used to utilize peace and calm in the house, and it can also get rid of negative energy. Now, don't play the music that you don't like in your home because that's doing nothing but irritating you and inviting a different energy to come into your home. Not that the energy's bad, but it's not resonating with you. So play the music that you love, and 9 times out of 10, uh, the negative energies don't like the same music that you like. You can also clap. This loud clap, clap, clap in each corner. Now, 3 times. One, two, three. So if you're doing it in the corner, 3 times in each corner in the middle of the room. Sometimes I'll just go through the house and clap 1, 2, 3 in each room and just be done with it. Okay, like I've dusted, vacuumed, mopped whatever that room needed, and just clapped 3 times like a finishing. I'm done, and any external negative energy is released. And I just want to throw this in with cleaning because I didn't bring it up. If you clean with the product Pine Sol, it has pine, literally pine oil in it, and the pine oil is very effective at getting rid of negative energy. So if you do that, the clapping, the Pine Sol, that'll help. You can also ring a bell. If you decide to do the ring the bell method, it's important that you ring again in each corner of each room, the center of the room, then go around the whole house, front yard, backyard, just do it all. If your neighbors look at you funny, so what? You're cleansing your home. Drumming is very important, and you don't have to have a drum. You can just, drum on your surface. I just drummed on my desk, and that's going to release negative energy because it's going to move the energy around. And if I set my intention that the drumming is going to help cleanse my energy field, it will help my energy field. And the last noise that I'm going to talk about regarding um, negative energy removal is crystal singing bowls. Now, a lot of people enjoy the sound of crystal singing bowls. It irritates me to the nth degree. Why? I do not know. Whenever I hear it, I am plugging my ears and running the other direction. So maybe there's something with me and crystal singing bowls from way back when. But the negative energies will also have that same reaction that I do. They want to run to the hills because they don't want that energy around. So it's great to have a crystal singing bowl. You can use it as often as you want because that will help you release with some noise unwanted energy. Now, with everything that I covered today, it's really important to talk about intention. Set your intention and give thanks. You set the intention so that you know what you're creating. You give thanks, the attitude of gratitude to show the universe that you're grateful for what you're receiving. And if you ask for $1 million and you only have a $5 mindset, guess what? Not happening. But if you ask for, I don't know, $500 and you need it right away and you have a $5 mindset, it's possible to bring that in. And you can do that by releasing the heavy energy that is holding you down so that you are free to bring in uplifting energy. Now, if you have done everything that I've suggested to you today and it's just not working for you, that's when it's time to call in a professional, okay? Whether it's me or someone else, call in someone who can thoroughly go through your home and cleanse the home and then give you ideas and tips on how to keep your particular space free and clear of the unwanted energies. And yes, sometimes it is necessary to do some work on some folks in your home or even yourself, but you can raise the vibration and keep the vibration level high. And when I get done cleansing a home, the one thing I do is I will stand outside the home. I will hold my arms out toward the home, bringing in the intention for the home to hold the highest vibration it could possibly hold. And I use the color gold and I just fill the home energetically with gold from under the home, from the center of the earth all the way up to the heavens. And some customers have even commented that, oh, my home sparkles now, and I don't know why. So there's wonderful ways to get rid of this negative energy so that you don't have to swim in it and allow it to block you from manifesting what you want, allow it to block you from going very quickly down your soul's path. Okay, everybody's path is different, and that's fine, but it's really going to be important for you to um, assess your space, get comfortable with, comfortable for you, and if it's not comfortable for you to let it go. Now, if you need professional help, feel free to call me. You can find my number on my website, and that's MoniqueChapman.com, or I do invite you to send me an email and we can set something up. This work can be done remotely or it can be done in person now that we're starting to open up again. So do check it out. If you got a question, send me a quick email. I'm more than happy to provide you with a very quick answer. I really appreciate you guys tuning in today and listening to this podcast on removing negative energy so that you can live your very best life. And remember that the most important choice that you can make is what you choose to make important. Consider making the masterful choice of getting rid of negative, crappy energy. Abundant blessings, light, and love to all. Agape.